If you want to keep up to date with the latest channel activity, Destiny news, and dank memes, follow me on Twitter at Rickakis. What is up, guys? Rickakis here, and today an absolutely massive amount of items were introduced into the Destiny game files, and they're now available to look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on the official Bungie website in the Armory and take a look at the new raid weapons coming to Destiny with the Wrath of the Machine raid, which of course is being added in the Rise of Iron expansion, releasing tomorrow. So without further ado, let's get started. Now we're on the Destiny Armor here. Let's start out with the first raid weapon, the Genesis Chain. This weapon, as you can see, like all the raid weapons, it does look kind of rather bland. This is definitely one of the main criticisms of these raid weapons. They don't look as crazy as something like the King's Fall raid weapons, and I think, as you can see here, that definitely is legitimate. However, there's some crazy perks going on that we're going to go over in a sec that really make up for this. Basically, all of these raid weapons have a perk that we're very used to, and then all of them have an entirely new perk that we've never seen before that works off the first one. Bungie has literally made these raid weapons have the wombo combo, so let's get started. As you can see, Genesis Chain from the Wrath of the Machine, very clearly you can see here, confirmed to be a raid weapon. Rate of fire and impact tells us that this is going to be a slow shooting, high damaging auto rifle. One of the passive perks here is Whirlwind's Curse. This weapon does bonus damage against the Fallen, bonus agility when this weapon is equipped. Overall, quite good, and this Whirlwind's Curse perk is a passive perk, so you're automatically going to get this with all of the raid weapons we're going over today. Then, we get the two main perks. These are where things get insane. One is an average perk that we all know. We're going to start here with Focus Fire. When zoomed, this weapon fires slower, but causes additional damage. Again, that's currently in the game. We know what it does, but this is paired up with the Wombo Combo perk, Focused Firefly. When Focus Fire is active, precision kills cause the target to explode. So you are getting Firefly for your auto rifle. That's insane. That is insane. So again, the first and second primary perks that you choose with this weapon, or you don't get to choose, you just have to unlock them, they form a wombo combo, making these raid weapons very, very unique and potentially very, very powerful. Moving down here, you can see these two sets of 3 perks that you can choose between. So some pretty useful stuff there. Now, let's move on to the raid fusion rifle, the Ether Nova. This weapon, stats-wise, looks pretty decent, pretty high impact, reasonable range, nothing really shouting out as insane, like it doesn't have max impact, doesn't have absurd of another stat. It's also going to have, of course, the Whirlwind's Curse perk intrinsic to this weapon, and it's going to have its wombo combo this time is firstly Army of One. Quick, unassisted kills with this weapon reduce grenade and melee cooldown. Useful overall, we've seen Army of One for a long time. The other perk is 2 for 1. Doubles the effectiveness of Army of One perk. Doubles the effectiveness of the Army of One perk. That is insane. So you're basically getting 2 Army of One perks. That seems really good. You're going to be charging up your grenades and melee all the time. And we can move down here and see the 2 sets of 3 perks that you can choose between. Again, this is absolutely blowing my mind, these 2 wombo combo perks, and all of the stuff we're going to see possesses that same feature. So happy that Bungie introduced this because that makes these weapons really, really unique. Now we're moving on here to the Fever and Remedy. This is a Judith D style of hand cannon. High impact, low rate of fire. Also has the Whirlwind's Curse, and this wombo combo is firstly Reactive Reload. Reloading this weapon after a kill grants a damage bonus for a short time. Pretty good actually. With this style of hand cannon, you can actually get 2-shot headshots with the damage bonus it gives you, and this is backed up with Quick Reaction. Gain increased agility while the Reactive Reload perk is active. So it's basically making Reactive Reload even better. You now get an increase to agility. Moving on here, we can see the 2 sets of 3 perks that you can choose between. After that, we're going to check out the MATERIA. This is the raid machine gun. As you can see, max rate of fire, low impact. This is going to be exactly like the damage archetype of the variable Future War Cult machine gun. Whirlwind's Curse is here, and the wombo combo this time is firstly triple tap. Rapidly landing precision hits will return 1 round to the magazine. This is backed up with triple double. When triple tap perk is triggered, an extra bullet is transferred from your reserves to the magazine. So if you land 3 precision headshots with this weapon, you're going to return 2 back. So for every 3 rounds you fire, you're going to return 2 rounds back to the magazine. That's insane. It's basically saying if you are getting, precision shots, if you get right up in an enemy's face and start plugging him, if you're shooting at a boss with a big critical, you can basically just use only 1/3 of the ammo in your magazine and the rest you're just refunding. That's insane. With a 60 to 88 round magazine, your damage output with this weapon is potentially just absurd. That is so good. And we're going to go down here and you can see the 2 choices of 3 perks you can select between. Now we're going to move on here to the steel MEDULLA. This is the raid pulse rifle. Now this weapon has, of course, Whirlwind's Curse. It has full auto as its first perk. Very useful. I actually love full auto with these type of weapons. This is a Herja D style of weapon. Herja D, Apple of Discord in terms of the impact and rate of fire. So it's going to fire in those 4 round Haka bursts. But this is backed up here with Sigil of 4. Landing 3 bursts on a target causes the 4th burst to do extra damage. Extra damage. That's so good. Now in PvP, this probably won't come up very often. You're going to kill most enemies in 3 bursts, and that's of course why the 4th burst will give you the extra damage. But in PvE, especially depending on how much extra damage the Sigil of 4 perk causes, you're basically saying that this weapon is going to be outright better. The damage output is outright better than the Apple of Discord, the Herja D, most other pulse rifles because of that damage bonus. Really insane stuff going on here, guys. This could be a very, very powerful PvE primary to start running. And as you can see here, the 2 choices of 3 perks to pick between. Moving on now, we have the Sound and Fury Raid Rocket Launcher. Pretty impressed with the velocity here. Pretty average blast radius, but the velocity is actually relatively high for a rocket launcher in my opinion. Whirlwind's Curse, of course, makes another appearance. And we have the wombo combo being Spray and Pray, increases the reload speed of this weapon when the magazine is empty. And this is backed up with, wait for it, reloading this weapon when the magazine is empty grants a larger than normal magazine. So you have 2 rounds automatically. You're going to get that spray and pray bonus, and then you're likely going to have 3 rounds. I would be blown away if it was 4 rounds. I kind of wish it was 3 rounds automatically, so it would give you 4 rounds because triple tube is probably just better than this, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, though, increasing your magazine size, having 3 rounds in the magazine, pretty damn good. And you can see here the 2 choices of 3 that you can select. After that, we have the Chaos Dogma. This is the Raid Scout Rifle. From the impact, this is a high impact, low rate of fire scout rifle. So this is going to kill in 3 headshots in the Crucible. This is going to be similar to stuff like the Badger CCL. Now right here we have the wombo combo of, again, triple tap and triple double, same as the machine gun on a scout rifle. That's excellent. Like, triple tap is actually one of the better things you want to look at for your scout rifles that have a pretty low magazine. As you can see here, only 10 natively, 16 with the magazine increase. You can find out, there it is right there. So having that triple tap and triple double, that's really good. That's going to make your damage output much higher than most other scout rifles, than all other scout rifles in this category. And of course you have Whirlwind's Curse, and I'll go down here and you can see the 3 sets that you can choose between. After that, we have the QUANTIPLASM Raid Shotgun. Actually looks like a decently competitive shotgun in terms of we have high impact, we have low rate of fire. That means that this thing is definitely something to consider in PvP. Not the best range though, so we're gonna have to look for those range increases. So this is going to have the Whirlwind's Curse perk, and the wombo combo this time is Battle Runner. Kills with this weapon grant a brief boost to the sprint's top speed. So decent with a shotgun, get a kill, run faster, presumably going to be able to make your next kill easier. Now this is comboed with Running Interference. Grants increased armor when the Battle Runner perk is active. What the fuck did I just read? That seems really good. Increased armor, aka increased health, increased survivability. So when you get a kill with this weapon and you're running faster, you're actually harder to kill. Now that, depending on how much that armor is increased, like, are we talking like RAM level increase here? What are we talking here? Because this could be potentially really powerful because of that perk. Increasing your armor, increasing your health, being able to resist a grenade potentially, being able to resist a sniper shot, being able to resist something because of this perk could potentially make it very, very powerful. Going down here, I'm looking for some range increasing perks, hand loaded, small bore, field choke. So we do have a few things that look like they can help out the range, which again isn't that amazing. Again, this thing could be pretty powerful. An increased armor is potentially insane, but we'll really just have to see the degree of how much armor is increased. Moving on, we have something I'm very happy to see, the ZEAL Vector. Now, finally, we are getting a raid sidearm. Happy to see it. Like, again, finally, there's a raid sidearm. Stats-wise, pretty average for sidearms, and the wombo combo here, of course, we have Whirlwind's Curse, but the wombo combo here is, again, that reactive reload and quick reaction. So, once you get a kill, you reload faster, and then you're going to have more agility while the reactive reload perk is active. Now, this is potentially a lot better with a sidearm than it is with the raid hand cannon, so be on the lookout for this. And right here is the sets of perks you can choose between. Now we're going to move on to the last thing, the Ex Machina. This is the raid sniper rifle. Alright, so impact 37, rate of fire 12. That puts it into the black spindle archetype. Absolutely awesome. I made a video saying, you know, the nerf to the damage of the sniper rifles, the 1,000-yard stare archetype. It was potentially a good thing if they can add more sniper rifles with this damage archetype, because that means you actually have to choose between, do you want the 1,000-yard stare and the LDR that cover you in most scenarios, or do you want these snipers that cover you in all scenarios? Super happy to see, you know, more legendary snipers being added into this category, so be on the lookout for these type of weapons. They are potentially very, very powerful. This is also going to have the spray and pray and wait for it wombo combo with the same thing we saw on the rocket launcher. However, with this sniper rifle being able to get a larger than normal magazine, something to consider is that wait for it may not actually take that extra round from the reserves. It may just give you an extra round or two out of thin air. That may be how the perk works. If it does work like that, this sniper just got absolutely fucking nuts. Like, being able to get a kill, reload, and get like a 4-5 round magazine from this archetype that almost always has 3 rounds in magazine, and if that ammo comes out of thin air, oh my god, that's just way too good. Of course, we have Whirlwind's Curse, and you can see here the perks that you choose between. I'm so excited about the potential for the Ex Machina. This is going to be a really something you want to look out for. And those are all of the raid weapons coming with the new Wrath of the Machine raid. Now, of course, there will be a raid exotic tied to this raid. It is still marked classified in the Armory. Presumably, it will be that Siva pulse rifle. That's the best guess, but we don't know that for sure. So again, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. Now, if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.